Hi, I'm Jeff Hoyt, Editor-in-Chief of SeniorLiving.Org. America's in debt to our servicemen and women who have served our country bravely. While many vets are being helped by the government, we discovered a veteran pension that few veterans apply for. In fact, even surviving spouses of veterans can receive up to 4 figures of help each month, if only they knew the benefit existed. Today I'll be speaking with attorney Eric Olsen, who will explain who is qualified and how to apply for this pension. Eric is an expert in this topic, as he's the founder of the HELPS nonprofit law firm, which serves senior citizens, veterans, and disabled persons struggling with debt. As Eric is in Salem, Oregon, and I'm in Los Angeles, we'll be conducting the interview online, via Zoom. Hi, it's Jeff Hoyt, Editor-in-Chief of SeniorLiving.Org, and today I'm speaking with attorney Eric Olsen. Eric is the Executive Director of the HELPS nonprofit law firm. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Doing good, Jeff.
Good to hear. So today I want to talk about veterans, and I want to start out by thanking them for their service. And then there may be some veterans benefits that they're supposed to get from the government that they might be eligible for, but you have to apply for it. If they don't know about it, it's really hard for them to apply for it. So is there any kind of benefit for veterans that could help them out, but they have to know to ask for it?
Well, there's a lot of veteran benefits and a lot of veterans get benefits, but there's one benefit in particular that probably, some people say 97% of veterans or surviving spouses of veterans would be entitled to that benefit, don't receive it because they don't know about it. And it's called veterans pension. Sometimes it's called aid and attendance, but that's what it is, veterans pension for veterans, lower income veterans.
So when you say pension, I think about working 20 years in the post office or on the docks, that someone has to put in a long time. Is it that kind of pension where someone has to have served the military for lengthy service in order to qualify?
No, and that's one of the things that confuses veterans. They start reading, they say, okay, veterans pension. Oh, well, I was only in the military for 2 years or 4 years, or I don't get a pension. I wasn't disabled, I wasn't hurt. And then so they stop reading about it, they start trying to learn about it. They say, they shut it off and think, oh, that's nothing there for me. When in fact, this veterans pension is available to not all veterans, but certain veterans, only if they served in the military for 90 days in the military, got a discharge other than a dishonorable discharge. And then the only other requirement is they had to have served during one day when America was at conflict. And that's what this pension is.
And I know you're a lawyer, but for our viewers, America seems to always be in conflict, but we're talking about a conflict that's been recognized by the U.S. government, such as World War I, World War II, Korean War.
Exactly. So there's specific dates. They're easy to find. I guess the most common one that seniors are concerned about nowadays is the Vietnam War. And I should have them memorized, but I got them written down here. If you served in country from February 28th of 61 to I think May 7th of 75, but if you served at all in the military during August 5th of 64 to May 7th of 75, then even though you didn't go to Vietnam, you could have served in Alaska, Washington, D.C., anywhere, Europe, whatever, then you served during that period of time. If you served one day during that period of time for at least 90 days, then that will help you qualify for this benefit. There's other requirements too, but that's the service time. 90 days, at least one day when we were at conflict. And for Vietnam, it's during those times.
And we'll put in a link so people can look up and see if their service coincides with the proper dates. But it sounds like with 90 days, you don't have to have served a long time in the military. It just sort of depends when and where you were. And then you mentioned seniors. So it's not just for disabled veterans. You don't have to be injured.
Well, that's another thing that makes it confusing. So I've listened to some videos where it's explained about aid and attendance or this benefit, and you can get articles, and it's really easy to get lost in the weeds. Okay. So they talk about, well, this benefit's for someone that's disabled. Okay. And yeah, it is. For part of it is for disabled, but the definition for veterans benefit is if you're over 65, you're classified as disabled, no matter how healthy you are, and you qualify for that benefit by just being 65 or your surviving spouse. So people get confused, and they might need the benefit before they're disabled, but they think, oh, this is for disabled people. I'm not disabled. I don't need it. I can't get it. And it doesn't have to, this benefit has nothing to do with your service in the military, except for when you served. It's based on your financial need for generally poor or lower income seniors. But then there's some adjustments to income that are made to make you qualify for this.
And so how much money are we talking about here? Like, is there an average amount that someone may qualify for?
Veteran benefit, I divide it into three areas. One is someone who's independent, okay, someone who's homebound, and then someone who needs a lot of help, and maybe at home or maybe in a nursing home, needs more help than normal. Maybe needs help with preparing food, buying groceries, keeping the house clean, doing the laundry, things like that. That would be aid and attendance. So the benefit rises from these criteria, one to the other, okay? So the benefit can be almost $2,000 for someone who needs aid and attendance, and a little bit over $1,000 for a veteran who's independent, $1,000. So
and that's a monthly
in that range. It's a monthly benefit. Sometimes they publish the benefit as an annual amount, and so you got to divide by 12 to determine how much it is each month.
And what if someone is low income, 65 plus, meets the requirements, but they have a house or a car? Is the amount of assets you have matter to qualify?
Under the current law, you can have a little bit over 130,000 in net assets. So, but there's an exceptions. A car doesn't count towards that, nor does a house. If you have an asset that you owe money on, you've got to subtract the amount you owe to come up with the net value of that asset. And then what you do is you add up these assets plus your annual income. If it's over that 130,000, you may not qualify. But I suspect the vast majority of seniors that need aid and attendance or need this veteran benefit, they probably don't go over the asset limit because their income is so low and they don't have these assets. One thing I just point out that if you give something away, there's a look back period for 3 years to make sure you haven't given property away to your family or someone so that you can qualify for this benefit.
So it's not just veterans, but it can be someone who was married to a veteran who has since passed, that they may also qualify for a benefit?
Yeah, this is really important. Surviving spouses of veterans are entitled to this benefit also. It helps. I talk to a lot of seniors. We talk to seniors all day long that are having financial problems. And one of the questions we always ask them, did you serve in the military or were you married to a deceased spouse that served in the military? And if the answer is yes, then we follow up. And a surviving spouse, the rule is that if you're, for example, a widow and your husband passed away and you were married to him, he had to die while you were still married. If you divorced him, then no, you don't qualify for it. Yeah. And then the other problem is if he passed away and then you remarried, then you wouldn't qualify for aid and attendance or this veterans benefit. But otherwise, there's a lot of widows need this benefit. I don't know. I shudder to think that there's so many that would qualify to receive it. They don't get it because they don't know about it.
Well, I'm glad you're announcing it to help out our veterans and the people who love them. So if there is a veteran or a surviving spouse of a veteran who wants more information and thinks maybe we qualify, what should their next steps be?
If they want, they can contact HELPS. We have some emails that will, preloaded emails or letters that we can send them that explains the basics of veterans benefits, aid and attendance, how it works and what they might be entitled to and what are the qualifications. And then we put a list of websites that they can go to and get, or organizations they can go to and get help to apply for aid and attendance.
How should someone contact HELPS?
Toll free, 855-HELPS-US, or they can get on our website, www.helpsishere.org, and we're easy to contact.
Great. Really appreciate your help. This has been Jeff Hoyt of Senior Living talking to Eric Olsen, Executive Director of the HELPS nonprofit law firm. If you want to hear more advice from Eric about little known laws that can help seniors with their finances, come to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Really appreciate your help, Eric. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.